But first thing we're doing is always stretching. Height it, but it has to be done. Literally went for a run yesterday. Ended up doing a 6k instead of a 5k, and it's absolutely killed my calves off. I also washed my hair last night, and I don't know why I've done that, because now I'm going to have to put up with it being all sweaty again. I never know what I'm actually doing with stretching, to be honest. I kind of just wing it as I go along, but I used to do gymnastics, so this is what we're working with. We're starting with RDLs. I've literally just got 12.5k G weight. I always find that the difficult thing about these is actually keeping your toes on the floor, because you're literally putting your entire body weight over the back. So you're imagining you're sitting on something. My tag's at the back of my sports bar, that's embarrassing. Because you're leaning so far back over your hips, it's really hard sometimes to keep your toes off the floor. What I tend to find is if you put your feet on a little bit more than shoulder width apart, lean back, keep your shoulders and back straight, and then literally glide the weight down past your shins and back up to your hips. I don't tend to fully extend when I get to the top, like I don't go like that. Still keeping the tension and then go again. If you can see from this angle, you kind of push back, push the weight down your shins and then back up. And yeah, that's pretty much that one. I'm going to do some glute bridges, and basically I always do 3 sets of 10 of these, but I always just put my feet like shoulder width apart, toes pointing slightly outwards, and then literally just put this weight like directly on top of your hip. You kind of push up through your hips, keeping your back straight and your like chin tucked, and then you almost want to make a straight line between your shoulders and your knees, if that makes sense. On the 10th rep, I always hold it as well for about 20 seconds, just so you can like feel that extra pump slightly. That run's absolutely killed me off yesterday. My calves are literally on fire. I'm just going to do some reverse lunges. I actually hate these, if I'm being perfectly honest. I always just start with this stance, proper NPC stance. Get into that position, so my back knee isn't actually on the floor, but both of my knees are at a 90-degree angle, and then lift back up. And again, I do 3 sets of 10 reps of these. I like to add a little bounce in each rep, if that makes sense. My knee touched the floor then, so I was not even going by my own instructions. Remember, don't drop your shoulders like this. Always keep your shoulders nice and tight as well in the process. I'm going to do some single leg RDLs. You want to get this exact stance, so you're going to want your back leg kind of at a 45-degree angle and keep on your toe. Your front leg, you're going to want literally straight. Push your hips backwards and keep your knees literally parallel to each other like this. You want to push your hips back and then literally just glide the weight basically down your shin and then back up to your hips. Don't overextend your hips at the top again. These are probably one of my favourite parts about glute though, to be honest. Again, I'm using a 12.5 kilogram weight and I'm doing 3 sets of 10. Exactly the same on the other leg. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better from this side now, from this leg being at this exact angle and this leg being straight directly in line with it. And then another 10 sets, I hope not. I meant 10 reps, sorry. Sometimes I find the flexibility in my calf limits how low I can actually go with the weight down my shin. So it doesn't really matter if you slightly bend your leg on the way down, but as long as you're not like doing that with it. Oh my god, it burns. So I'm going to do some sumo squats. I'm not the most confident at this, to be honest, but I always put my feet further than shoulder width apart, slightly point your toes outwards, just like that. And then I've got a heavier weight this time, so I've got a 17.5 kilograms, and I can just sit back like this, and then bend your knees and drop and back up. But make sure you keep your back straight and your shoulders as far back as possible. And you want to grip the weight with both hands as well. And then I always hold it for 10 seconds as well. I'm having a struggle here, bloody hell. For some reason I can't. That'll do. Right, we're going on to hip thrusts. But I always put 15 on either side, and this bar's 10, I'm pretty sure. Feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly pointing outwards. You want to keep your chin to your hips in a straight line at all times. And when you lift, you want to lift through your hips, not through your back or through your legs. I always do 3 sets of 10. Legs are literally shaking. Can you tell I like the colour pink as well? Because what the hell? Literally everything's pink. I kind of made my own mechanism with this because I don't use the big bar in the other room. I always put like 2 of the blocks, and then I put 2 5 kg weights on the floor to like just lift it off the floor. So like obviously when I've stopped in the middle of a set like now, I can literally just sit here. Lovely stuff. Okay, set 2. A good way to measure whether you've got the right form as well is if you put your arms straight across the box, you want the bottom of your shoulder blades to be like right on the box, if that makes sense. If you do that and your shoulder blades are like right there, then that's fine. And then always keep your chin tucked as well. When you're at the bottom, you want your legs to be at this angle, and then when you're at the top, you want them to be at pretty much a 90-degree angle like this. Try and keep the centre of gravity as well, because a lot of this comes down to balance. I always find that when I'm getting fatigued, I'll go up in a set and I'll start going all like wobbly, and my knees will start giving way. So balance is like a massive thing as well. I've had enough of these, to be honest. Gosh. This is the last thing I'm doing today because I'm really still feeling it from the run I went on yesterday. I'm not going to lie. So these are sideline hip adductors. These are my favourite exercise because I feel like you can really feel them if you do them with the right form. It kind of targets the side of your glutes. What you want to do is get 2 boxes. You can do this lying on the floor, but then you can't push your leg like behind you, if that makes sense. If you just put your leg like this, you won't actually feel anything. If you put your leg behind you like this, it almost pushes your hips backwards and then you lift it back up. So I've literally just put 2 5 kg weights on my hip. I'm lying across this, securing myself with my hand here, keeping my back nice and straight. Almost like leaning forward a little bit just so this leg can fall behind the boxes. And then I'm literally lifting my hip, keeping my back straight, lifting through my hip, like that. I'm going to do the other leg, but I'm going to do it facing that way so you can see what I mean about the leg being behind. Essentially, you're lying across the box like this, securing yourself with this hand. And then you just drop this leg behind the box, if that makes sense. And then you lift through your hip, keeping your back straight again, leaning slightly forward. And always drop this leg behind the box, behind your other leg. I try to just go to failure on all exercises now and not listen to when my body starts feeling it. But these, you can literally feel it from the start for some reason. Gosh. Right, literally never forget to stretch because the amount of times I've got home after I've been to the gym and I forgot to stretch is ridiculous. And I always end up in like pain that I don't need to be in the following day, or because I literally forgot to stretch. So don't be that person. Don't be like me. Always stretch. As I said at the start, I literally have no idea how you're actually supposed to stretch. As you can probably tell here, my microphone died. I'm pretty sure I was just waffling anyway. That was my glute workout and I hope you found it somewhat informative.